I grew up in a quite extremist household. I come from a Muslim family, and the form of Islam that my parents follow is quite an extreme, puritanical form of Islam, known as Salafism or Wahhabism. So growing up, I was taught things like my country of birth, the United Kingdom, I was born here in London, is the enemy, that it's a war with Islam, that the end goal is for the Muslims to fight a holy jihad, a holy war against the non-Muslims and to win against them. So it was quite an extreme upbringing that I kind of faced growing up. And given that, I actually did face discrimination from the teachers themselves in classes, and that only kind of, for me, confirmed the whole ideology that I've been brought up with. In essence, it was quite isolating, an experience growing up like that. I was extremely angry as a teenager. Growing up, I was taught that gay people should be thrown off roofs, that they should be executed. I myself was attracted towards the same gender, that I liked guys. And that was extremely confusing for me. For me, becoming more devoted meant becoming more extreme, especially with what I was being taught in mosque about how this was a war against Islam and that the reason why they were going to Afghanistan and Iraq was to kill Muslims and to kill Muslims solely and to subjugate the Muslim world. This is actually quite distressing for me to kind of discuss. At one point, I even seriously began considering carrying out myself terror attacks in my home city here in London. And that's something that I say with a lot of deep regret and deep shame. But thankfully, I managed to talk myself down because there was an inner voice inside me saying, this is wrong. You know this is wrong. This just feels wrong. These are the people that I grew up with. You can't do that to these people. And thankfully, I listened to myself and I managed to talk myself down from the precipice of violence. This time, this terror attack felt different because I'd just been in Westminster the week before. Initially it was immense shock, followed by an immense sense of distress, and I also cried because it really hit home. But then also what kind of fed into the whole thing was also kind of guilt, and also the thought that that could have been me committing that terror attack. Because I was an Islamist, a hardcore Islamist, and one of the tenets of Islamism is to believe that you should invade the entire world. And this sounds ridiculous, but it's invade the entire world and impose Sharia law on everyone. And to me, I just thought, that doesn't make sense. How is that in any way just? As I kind of started looking into these issues, I began to realize that actually my religious beliefs didn't hold up. It didn't feel right to me. That was when I decided to look at more progressive, liberal interpretations of Islam. And when I started studying them, they made sense to me. So I've decided that I would dedicate my life to kind of fighting extremism now. My advice to Muslims kind of going through the same process would be, keep an open mind. This country does accept you. This country does consider you to be one of your own. Don't listen to the firebrand preachers who will be saying that you're not British, that they don't actually care about you, that they don't treat you really as one of them. That's all a load of rubbish. I am most certainly happier because I can be true to myself, and I don't have to continuously contend with the guilt of my sexuality. It's a sigh of relief to be who I am.